Hi-ho, what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show. Here's yo daddy.
It's crazy. Oh, hey, kids. Welcome to the Big Daddy G Show. I'm the Big Daddy G. Who knew? Dude, this is what I needed. I was feeling kind of low on energy a little while ago. And so I took two of my little white pills. Who knows what they are? And so now I'm drinking this pineapple martini. And it's actually pretty good. My own invention. Okay, so we have a really cool show for you today. We have a young man by the name of Steve Kravetz that wrote a book called A Marijuana Man. Can you give me a close-up? What camera? Camera 3? All right. Have we got anything? All right. There we go. Is that good? It's a little crooked. All right. So it's called A Marijuana Man, and it's a dealer's diary. So you guys have to stay tuned because we're going to interview Mr. Steve Kravetz, who is not related to Mrs. Kravetz from across the street from Bewitched, I'm sure. But we're going to interview him in a little bit about that. So I want to just let you know, so stay tuned. Oh, and at the end of the show, I got to tell you this at the end of my my intro. Tyrone, how long is my intro? I forgot. Okay, so first I'm glad that the kids from Thailand, in case you guys haven't been following, there was 13, I believe 13 kids all together and a coach that had gone down this cave, and they're just, cave checking out, cave exploring, and then it started raining. And what happened was that some of the cave, they had to go underneath these walls of rock. And well, when it started raining, well, it covered up those walls of rock. And so the kids were trapped in there for like 10 days or something like that, and they were trying to get them out. But they got them out. So I think that's awesome. I know that we lost a Navy SEAL during that operation, and our hearts go out to his family. And but dude, he died a hero. So you can't be a bigger hero than saving 13 kids. So I just think that's awesome that he was there to help, and he gave his life to help. So we could all learn from that. A couple other things, kind of stupid things I wanted to bring up, a couple of things. One is the Alamo Draft House has eliminated plastic straws. Way to go, Alamo Draft House. Hopefully the rest of Austin will follow. The average citizen, American citizen, uses 500 plastic straws a year. So imagine, and each one of those plastic straws is 1 hour of pollution. So make sure that you guys, if you don't need the straws, just tell the waitress we don't need straws, and it'll just help, it'll help the environment. Another thing that I wanted to mention was we have this deal here in Austin, and it's a truck. It's a blue and white truck. It's called the Hero Truck, and they've just expanded the service. You can actually look on the back of your driver's license and find this phone number. It's like an 800 number. And you can call that number, and these trucks all over the state of Austin drive around helping people. So please look that up. The number I have for them is 512-974-HERO. And what they do is they run between 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. And they'll help you with gas, just about oil, anything like that. Quick shout out to Reverend Sheldon Johnson, who is in the hospital right now. There's a GoFundMe account. His name is Sheldon Johnson, and he lost his wife and his 13-year-old son in a car accident last Monday. So, Reverend Johnson, here's to you. Hang in there, bud. Hang in there. I want to thank Rochelle for the magical brownies. They were great. I don't think I've laughed that much in I don't know how long. It's great to have Tay-Tay back. I don't know where she is, but I don't see her, but I'm glad that she's back. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick, I know I'm already overturned, but the other thing I wanted to mention was that sometimes I sit outside looking at other stars and other planets, and I wonder something. So I have something to show you, and I believe it's at the end of the show, a clip that I found that I want you guys to see. And also Texas Norml, we have a clip of Texas Norml when we went out to Willie Nelson's place, and we shot some footage out there a couple of months ago. Scott LaRock, I think I'm saying his name right, LaRock, had us out there, and we had such a great time. Thank you, Scott. We're still trying to book you for to come into the show, so hang in there. We're going to get you on. Let's see, what else do I have? Now I have to go to a clip, I'm being told. So, oh wait, I want to tell my your mama's so fat joke. Okay, so your mama's so fat. Okay, I got to say it right. Your mama's so fat, she heard it was chilly outside, so she went inside and got a bowl. All right, so that's your mama's so fat joke. Okay, that's it. Let's go to the clip first. We'll be right back. At the schedule, because I hadn't looked at the schedule yet. So, kids, we're back. All right, so let me look at the schedule. Next, we're going to interview Steve Kravetz, and you're really going to like this guy. I met him out at Willie Nelson's place a couple of months ago, and super, super nice guy, and we finally got him on the show. So, Mr. Kravetz, come on down. There we go. How you doing, bud? How you doing? Oh, no worries. Have a seat. All right. So tell us a little bit about Steve Kravetz. Where are you from?
I'm from Dallas. I grew up in Dallas. Went to high school in Dallas. Went to college up in Denton, North Texas. Back in the good days.
Okay.
Back in the days when gas was cheap.
Yeah.
And low was free.
How cheap was gas back then?
Oh, probably 25 cents or less a gallon.
That's nice.
And Miss Mary Jane was visiting a college campus near me.
Yeah. Well, I happen to know Mary Jane. I am actually married to Mary Jane now. Anyway, so tell us a little bit about, do you have kids?
I have 3 grown children.
Okay.
My daughter lives in San Francisco.
Okay. Is she watching tonight?
I hope so.
Okay. Well, what's her name?
Her name is Shelly.
Shelly. Hi, Shelly.
My oldest son is named Todd.
Todd. Hi, Todd.
And my youngest son is named Jacob.
Jacob. Hey, Jacob. How you doing, bud?
And my grandson is Joshua.
Hi, Joshua. All right. Did we leave anybody out?
Well, I got step grandkids.
Okay.
And I've got daughter-in-laws and son-in-laws and
Okay.
and in-laws and outlaws and all the in-betweens.
Well, let's cover all of them. Hey. Okay, here's a sip for all of y'all. All right. So you were nice enough to come up from Dallas, or come down from Dallas, to do the show. We really, really thank you for doing that. We've been trying to get you on for a couple of months, I think 2-3 months, and just haven't been able to. And then it just happened, bam. So here you are.
I'm excited.
Oh, dude, it's great. It's great. We have viewers all over the world that are watching you right now. So that's pretty cool.
Well, I have done my part to advertise on every Facebook association that I'm involved in. There's over 100 420 type sites.
Nice.
From one side of the world to the other.
Nice. Well, guys, if you have anybody out there that that doesn't have or doesn't live in the Austin area, they can go to our website. Our website is thebigdaddyg.com. Click on the watch, and they can live stream it from anywhere in the world. So please, please do that. So here's the book again. I want to go ahead and show it one more time. It's called A Marijuana Man, A Dealer's Diary. Is that good right there? Awesome. So that's it. So tell me a little bit about why you wrote this book.
This book is kind of a love-hate relationship.
Okay.
The concept was actually mine back in 1983. Mm-hmm. But I don't do things very fast. And the
welcome to my world.
I have always been a storyteller by nature, and I've used it many years as a sales tool and whatnot. And it wasn't until 1994 when I entered the State Fair of Texas Tall Tale Contest.
Yeah, that's in the book too.
Right.
Yeah.
That I became then I won first place. That it even dawned on me that I could write something down and somebody be interested in reading it as opposed to just listening to it.
Right, right.
And so I kiddled around for a number of years trying to develop the concept of the book. It wasn't until 2006 when I got hurt that I was laid up for about 4 months that I actually put the first pen to pencil. Mm-hmm. And in about 6 months it was written, and I got through with it and put it in a book bag and forgot about it. My wife at the time, who became very ill back in 2015, spent a considerable amount of time in and out of the hospital over 9 months. Right. And she said, I'm tired of seeing your smiling face here every morning. I want you to go back and pick the book up and finish it.
Nice.
She said, this book is our past and potentially our future, so get it done.
Nice.
And that's what I did. Finished the book in November and published it, and have been doing my best to promote it since then.
Nice. A couple of questions that I wanted to ask you. First, tell me about the Brotherhood of Smoke.
Well, the Brotherhood of Smoke, which is my...
Can you get a close-up of the shirt? The Brotherhood of Smoke.
The concept is basically, ever since early man, the sharing of cannabis has become a big social event.
Right.
Whether it was primitive Native Americans or even earlier type people and whatnot, when they gathered, they passed the pipe, they shared the smoke, and it became in itself a brotherhood. They shared something that alcohol consumption people don't share. There's something social about cannabis smoke that introduces us to an easier time to be with one another, a more joyful time. And so my concept has basically been is anybody who has at any point in time ever partaken in the smoke is a member of the Brotherhood of Smoke.
Okay.
And
well, that would make me granddaddy, daddy or something, yeah.
That's probably true, and I want you to know that your dues are past due.
Oh, well, let me write you a check right here. Okay, so a couple other things. One thing that I wanted to talk to you about was in the very first pages, you talk about your grandfather and some of the things that he said. This is one thing that caught my attention right from the very beginning. And this is something that your grandfather would say, what you don't see with your eyes, don't invent with your mouth, which I think is an awesome saying. What you don't see with your eyes, don't invent with your mouth. Okay, so so tell me a little bit about Grandpa.
Well, I personally never knew any of my grandfathers. They had long passed before I had been born.
Okay.
But there was a tradition within the Jewish religion of the older passing down to the younger.
Right.
All right. And what I try to do is have almost 3 different storylines going at the same time in the book.
Okay. Right.
A little bit of Zadie, the Zadieisms, the bits and pieces of knowledge that are passed down to the younger generation.
Right.
The second thing is, in the period of time that the book is written transpires from 1966 through 1983, is an extremely important part of the American history.
Right.
There was so much action and changes being taking place. Personally, I think a lot of it was due to the fact that marijuana was being consumed and distributed nationwide, and more people would become consciously orientated.
Right.
And we had the women's movement, we had the civil rights movement, we had the movements of the youth taking more charge of politics. We had the awakening of the fact that the United States government wasn't all that we had anticipated it was. It was actually the beginning of what we call today the big break between the left and the right. Actually started back in the 60s with the Vietnam War.
Right.
And so I incorporated all of that along with the storyline.
Okay. Okay. Well, another thing I wanted to ask you about is you said so you won you're the championship liar.
At the State Fair of Texas in 1994, I won first place in the State Fair of Texas Tall Tale Contest.
Tall Tale Contest. I've never even heard of that. I've been to the State Fair, but I've never even heard of that. So a couple of, I have, I think 11 or 12 questions for you here. Another question, Max's choice to deal cannabis and avoid dealing other recreational drugs. How did you think this protected him from situations other than dealers that were, subject to federal and state government waging war, on drugs?
I think the concept with Max is that his intent was to be almost the Johnny Appleseed of the early marijuana days.
Okay.
He was in it for the money, obviously, but it was bigger than just the money.
Right.
And his own social mores or whatever of the time felt like if somebody consumed marijuana, they were not going to be addicted to it. If somebody consumed marijuana, it was going to do nothing but a positive enlightenment factor and whatnot, as opposed to cocaine, which was a socially growing menu, and the other white powders that were available to be sold. But in his own right mind and whatnot, what he was doing was enlightening and bringing forth knowledge and spreading the joy of marijuana, not just out for the buck, the bottom dollar. Right,
right. Well, this book, this story, follows this guy, and it's a really, really good read, guys. Where can they get a book? Where can they get a copy?
You can get it several different places. You can go to Amazon.com. It's listed there.
Okay.
Barnes & Noble has got it, not in the stores, but on their line. And then my own website, which is amarijuanaman.com.
Okay.
You can get it, order it, and I'll be happy to sign it for you. And if there's a special signature that you want, I'll be happy to do that, along with my line of T-shirts, which I have developed for the program as well.
For the programs. Well, when I first met Steve, we were out at Willie Nelson's place, and Norml, Texas, was having a big get-together out there. And we actually have a video of that, what we filmed out there. And we're going to show it to you guys after this interview. But I wanted you guys to meet Steve because this is a really, really nice book, and it's really well written, and he really put a lot of thought into it. We have about a minute left, Steve, for this interview, and then we're going to go to the clip. Or I think we're going to go to, yeah, we're going to go to the clip after this interview. But one last thing you want to say to the kids out there watching?
All I can say is stay off bad drugs, smoke more weed.
There you go. There you go. Your government has been lying to you about marijuana. So it's not bad for you. Like they've been telling us all, you know, since I can remember, it's not bad for you. My dad used to tell me that he used to smoke when he was younger. And dude, he lived to be 86, I think. He passed away when he was 86. So anyway, kids, sit back, take a rip, a sip, or a puff, or a rip, or a sip, however you want to do it. Take care of that, and we'll be right back. Enjoy the clip.
Hey kids, we're at the 5th annual Puff and Putt Festival at Willie Nelson's Golf Course in Spicewood, Texas, baby! Ow! Hey kids, we're here at the 5th annual Puff and Putt celebration at Willie Nelson's Golf Course. What is it? Why are we here? Well, Norml, Texas is here to tell you guys why marijuana needs to be legalized. So stay with us and learn something.
You hurt me every night, don't you want me to?
Hey kids, Dave's right here, man.
Yeah, right here, man.
And we also got Scarlet Rock over here on the other side. So we're here at the 5th annual
Puff and Putt.
Golf tournament.
Where is it?
Willie Nelson's Golf Course.
That's right,
in Spicewood,
dude.
Texas.
That's right.
Spicewood, yeah.
And why do you guys have this festival?
So, 5 years ago,
Uh-huh.
Willie Nelson's granddaughter, Rebecca,
Okay.
who runs this operation out here,
Yeah.
invited Texas Norml to come out and do this festival and raise money for our work with veterans. Because we work with veterans who suffer from PTSD, chronic pain, and other injuries from their service.
Nice.
And we're working to get a medical marijuana program in Texas.
Nice.
And so that's what got us started with the veterans. I retired from the Army in 2006, and I joined Texas Norml in 2012 because I wanted to stop using opioid pain medications for chronic pain and psychotropic medications for PTSD. And I didn't want to do it as a criminal, because I'm not a criminal.
Right.
I served in the Army for 21 years.
Nice.
I was a school teacher for 10 years here in Texas.
Wow.
And now I'm a retired person in my
Yeah.
golden years. I'm 62 years old now.
Well, what was tougher, the Army or the teaching?
They were both equally tough.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
in their own way. They were both
Awesome.
very challenging.
Awesome. And what kind of obstacles have you run into as far as getting it legalized? I mean, who is standing in the way?
Texas Norml was founded in 1973 in Texas.
Okay.
So that's how long
Wow.
Texans have been working to legalize marijuana.
Wow.
And we're still working on it.
Okay.
We have the full support of Willie Nelson and many other people, but it just hasn't happened. Because the bottom line is, prohibition started here in Texas.
Wow.
And it started down in El Paso.
Okay.
And it was a racist law against Mexican people. It then started affecting not only Mexican people, but everybody, black people, white people. Texas arrests 70,000 of its own citizens every year for possessing marijuana.
Wow.
Year after year. That's a lot of people.
Wow. Yeah.
And we want that to stop. And I should not be arrested for using marijuana for PTSD and chronic pain, because
Exactly.
I'm a honest citizen.
Right. Right.
This is the only law I break.
Right.
But I'll break the law
Right.
because marijuana is better for me than these opioid pain medications
Exactly.
and the psychotropic medications, which cause me to be dependent on them
Right.
and have terrible side effects.
Right.
And so after I joined Texas Norml, I met other veterans, like Scott, my buddy Scott here. And then we met other veterans. And now we know hundreds, several thousand veterans across the state of Texas.
Okay.
And we've started this movement called Texas Veterans for Medical Marijuana.
Nice.
And Scott's been in on it from the beginning.
Nice.
Scott, how did you get involved, man?
So mainly the stone I contribute is the artwork. So I design all of our merchandise and things like that, promos.
Nice.
And I did that in the military also for a little while. I was only in for 4 years. I didn't quite have a full career like Dave did.
And what branch were you?
And I was Navy Aviation,
He's
and I was
Navy.
in a helicopter squadron, and I actually participated in the war on drugs back in the late 80s,
Wow.
which opened my eyes, which made me want to become part of the solution.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for your service, and thank you for trying to bring awareness to people. I didn't know about this festival. I didn't know that it had been here. That this was your 5th one you've had, and we are hoping that Willie does show up. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. He's in the area, so you never know. So if somebody wanted to buy one of your shirts, where would they go?
Right around the corner to
Right
the
around-
Texas Norml booth.
Well, let's say if they're
And if
not here.
Oh, if they're not here.
Yeah.
TexasNormal.org.
Yes.
Okay.
TexasNormal.org.
TexasNormal.org.
Yes.
All right. So kids, that's it. We're here at the 5th annual Puff and Putt
Yes.
Festival. Let's say it all together. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
The 5th annual Puff and Putt Festival at Willie Nelson's Golf Course in Spicewood, Texas, baby! Ow!
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Fantastic.
Thank you. And we'll be right back.
How was it?
Hi, kids. We're here with Tony from the Austin Made Glass Company. What is your website?
AMGC.
AMGC.com. There you go. Okay. So tell me a little bit about the stuff that you make here. These beautiful pieces.
Well, these are all just regular pipes made
Uh-huh.
locally by Austin Glassblowers.
Nice, nice. And like you have all these different designs. Which one is your biggest seller out of all of these?
Just the most affordable piece here.
The most affordable?
The common.
Okay.
Spoon.
And how much, like this one here, how
That's
much is
$12.
this one? $12? Wow, that's a good deal. And how long have you been blowing glass? I'm sorry.
Over 23 years.
23 years. Wow. Well, dude, this is beautiful work.
Thank you.
It really is. And this one is, oh! Well, I guess it's back to papers. Hi, kids. We're here with Real Signs of Pure Hempology. Now, Rio, tell me what pure hempology is.
Pure Hempology is the name of my company I created to produce some of the best cannabinol products here in the country.
Nice.
Cannabinol is the medical component side of the cannabis plant without the psychoactive effects. And I developed Pure Hempology about a year ago here in Texas to provide Texans with the best products that they can get.
Nice, nice. And why should people smoke marijuana?
People should smoke cannabis and consume cannabinol because at one point over the past several hundred years, it's been a part of our daily diet.
Right.
It's been used as medicines in the 1800s. It was prescribed for over 200 different ailments by doctors. Early 1900s, they chose alcohol over it, and everybody started getting sick.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting sick. All the cancers,
Right.
everything in all these other countries that don't ban it, they don't have cancer epidemics, things like that. They still use it a part of their daily diet.
Right.
And there's plenty of versions out there where you don't even get the psychoactive effects and you get 100% of the medical side.
You know, when I was a kid, whenever I got sick, like if I got a cold or something, my dad would put some cannabis in the alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, and then he would put it on me, and dude, you just felt great. You know,
Yes.
you weren't miserable anymore. You were hungry, and it helped so much. So, what do you suggest that people do to try to help legalize cannabis?
The first push to legalizing it here in the States is to get rid of the stigma. We have athletes, Olympic athletes that are advocates.
Exactly.
We have UFC fighters that are advocates.
Exactly.
Lazy stoners, that's not true anymore.
Right, right.
It's a lie.
Right.
There's plenty of successful people that consume cannabis all day, every day.
Exactly.
It's happening across the country now.
Well, I happen to know of one called Willie Nelson. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not, but he, from what I understand, I wouldn't know for a fact, that he partakes daily.
Willie Nelson is one of the biggest advocates for cannabis in the world.
Exactly.
He has his own shops and everything. I mean, look at all the other people that he sang beside. They all died
Yeah.
because they were consuming all the different drugs,
Yeah.
all the alcohol, and then here you
Yeah.
got Willie Nelson just burning down
Right.
and living his life to the fullest.
Right.
And still
Exactly.
singing and bouncing around.
Exactly. So, where would we go to get your products?
So my products is on purehempology.com. We're based out of Marble Falls, Texas. We're opening up a store here in 2 weeks, a
Nice.
storefront to actually have a CBD dispensary. Makes it a little bit more accessible to people. And our whole goal is moving forward. From day one last year, we set out this goal and these dates, and more people are getting rid of the stigma.
Right.
And that's all we can do is just try to re-educate people, get rid of the stigma,
Right.
and then everybody's going to start to understand that athletes need this. They're not even in a peak performance unless they're consuming cannabis.
Right.
You don't have to smoke cannabis to consume it. There's
Right.
so many different variations. How you said it can be applied topically and give
Exactly.
just the same effects.
Exactly. And today is March 31st of 2018, and you said you're opening up a shop in 2 weeks. and-
Here in 2 weeks. There's only a few dispensaries opening up, and we're getting ready for the cannabis push. You know, as soon as that turns, we'll be able to offer somebody, the veterans and everybody down here, children, the other good side of the plant. We
Right.
have to choose one down here. We can't
Right.
have both. So
Right.
we have to take what we can get, and that's CBDs. But once you put
Right.
those two together, there's nothing better.
One quick question. Hemp used to be used for paper,
Yes.
and now it's not.
No.
Can you tell us anything about that, or
Hemp, the USS Constitutional ship that came overseas to America in the beginning, that had over 64 tons of hemp on it.
Wow.
Every sail,
Yeah.
every book, shoes, uniforms, the ropes, everything, even eating it is a superfood. So they're able to eat the hemp herds also. I mean, the parachutes were made out of it.
Right.
It's the strongest fiber known to man.
Wow.
It is the strongest fiber.
Well, now, and is hemp different from marijuana?
It's no, it's not. Cannabis is the true definition is just cannabis, the genus Cannabis sativa plant,
Okay.
which means every family member in that. It's like saying each tomato plant's different. It's not. They're all tomatoes, just a
Right.
difference. Hemp is just something that was produced that had such low THC that they figured out the textile purpose is. The first decorticating machines for cotton that people use to process cotton,
Right.
they weren't even invented for cotton. They were developed for hemp.
Wow.
Our presidents, the
Yeah.
founding fathers, all grew it and
Right.
manufactured it because they saw it.
Right.
And up until 1937 was when the true prohibition started, and we marked 88 years.
Wow.
This past August, we marked 88 years of prohibition, and we
Wow.
have over half our states medical.
Yeah.
We have another year or two, and
Right.
it's going federal.
Wow.
As long as people keep on re-educating people, doing things like this.
Exactly. So there, you see, kids, you just learned something new. And stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hey kids, we're here with Joshua Ace, and he's with an organization called Are We Home Yet? That's the Facebook page, Are We Home Yet? And tell us a little bit, Joshua, about what is Are We Home Yet about?
Our home, we promote post-traumatic stress disorder for the combat infantry veterans, police, and firefighters. Everybody that serves this nation in regards to firefighters, veterans, and police officers that are disabled or retired elderly. What we do is we promote canine training, and we tailor these service dogs straight for the service members. That's what we do. We're also here today on support of cannabis and hemp for medical purposes for the service members, because I believe in it 100%.
Okay. And it seems like they're trying to work out a deal for to get cannabis for veterans that have PTSD. And where do we stand on that?
Right now, the American Legion and their highest members are working with senators and congressmen as we speak,
okay,
to legalize it, at least for medical for the veterans in the VA. And that's something I know I can talk about it because we're doing that right now.
Right.
We're putting as much effort as we can to legalize it, decriminalize, and regulate. And this all means good taxes for all of us.
Exactly, exactly. And it seems that anytime a veteran gets something, eventually then they'll do it for civilians also if they feel that it's a good thing, correct?
You're right. You
Okay.
are totally right. Most of our technology, pills, you name it, your pages, your cell phone, your GPS was a military technology. Even what is that pill when you get sick you take? All these pills, everything
Yeah.
has gone through the military first.
Right.
And then it goes to the civilian world because they got to test it first.
Right, right.
So I believe, I'm a firm believer that once we pass regulation, decriminalization, and all this for cannabis, medical for veterans, it'll soon follow lawsuit
Right.
with the civilian world. I'm
Right.
pretty sure of that.
Right. And tell me a little bit about the dogs.
The dogs, I also train dogs for disabled veterans, police, and firefighters. This is Ares, the Greek god of war. This is Bruce Lee. I train a total of 29 dogs plus, and more than 300 on and off.
Okay. All right. And how would somebody get a hold of you if they want to find out more about the dogs or how they can help?
The dogs have their own page. It's called Love My Dog. It's very simple. It's separated, and I need support. I just moved from New York City. We're going to establish a canine unit here to train service dogs for free, no cost to the service members.
Awesome.
We're talking about from $5,000 to $20,000 per dog.
Okay. All right. So kids, if you want to help out, this is a great cause, man. This is a great cause. And Joshua, I want to thank you for your service, and I want to
welcome.
thank you
You're
for taking the
welcome.
time to talk to us.
Thank you.
This is a kind of a really serious thing, so please check out their Facebook page, and it's called Are We Home Yet? Okay? All right. Thanks, kids, and stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, kids, we're back, man. No, hey, kids, we've got Rebecca Thomas. She's the event coordinator. She's also Willie Nelson's granddaughter. So I'm just gonna rub her skin and get some of that THC. Okay, and we also have Jax Finkel. She's the executive director of this festival. So can you guys tell us a little bit about why you're involved in this festival?
Go ahead. Well, so this is a veteran benefit, and it's also to help legalize cannabis in Texas. And Willie was very kind and decided to let us use the course and coordinate with Rebecca. Rebecca and I have been working together on this for quite a few years, and it's a really great benefit because you can have a lot of great music, a lot of great vendors, and then you're supporting a really good cause, veterans, right?
Right.
Who need access to medical cannabis for service-related disability.
Right.
So it's a really great cause, and it's a beautiful location. You know, you get golf, you get disc golf,
Right.
you get a little bit of everything, and so we're really happy to be able to be hosted here.
Yep.
Awesome, awesome.
Great vendors as well, and food, and
Yeah.
just all the way around the music. It's just a fabulous event to put everybody together.
Awesome. And you have the inn with Willie. Do you know if he's going to be here today?
He will not. He's
He will
out
not?
of town. Yeah,
Okay.
he's out of town.
Okay.
He usually travels on the road, and when he's off, he's either between Texas or Maui. So he's
Okay.
in Maui right now.
Right. Oh,
Probably
nice.
doing about the same thing we are, but on a whole different level.
What? You mean Willie Nelson smokes?
He doesn't have his own brand for nothing.
Oh, there you go. There you
It's called
go.
Willie's Reserve for a reason.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, kids, this cannabis, I happen to have a friend who has PTSD, and he uses cannabis. He got off of the medication that they had him on, and he got on cannabis, and now he sleeps through the night. He eats. He's lost that, anxiousness, being always anxious. He was, and sometimes he would come and stay the night, and in the middle of the night, from the other side of the house, I would hear a bam, and I was like, what was that? And I get up, I go to the guest room, and he was banging up on the wall, and so I said, dude, you got to change whatever they're giving you isn't working, so you got to change it. I said, maybe you should smoke something, oh, I can't do that because then I'll lose my benefits, and then, dude, it's helping them. And this is proof. They're doing all this to help veterans and to educate you guys. So it's time to wake up. So Rebecca and Jax, thank you so much.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We
Thank y'all for
appreciate it.
being here.
And thank you for all your hard work.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We'll be here next year.
Yep.
Awesome. Next year will be the 6th annual.
That's correct.
The 6th one, right?
Yep,
All right,
that's it.
kids. We'll be right back. Hey kids, we're up on the chuck wagon with Rebecca Thomas, granddaughter of Willie Nelson. Yeah, Willie Nelson. I don't know if you noticed, Rebecca, but I have this particular joint that I'm saving for Willie once he comes on our show. I've actually I've been working on doing his voice. I'll give you a little example. To all the girls I've loved before.
There you go.
I'm working on it. But the one that I'm really working on is the one where he did a song with Ray Charles, 7 Spanish Angels. And I'm actually working on doing both voices at the same time.
Very good.
So, and I've almost got it.
There
So,
you go.
tell us a little bit about Rebecca. What was it like growing up as Willie Nelson's granddaughter? I mean, what kind of
Very,
the
very
perks,
cool.
the perks
Very
and the
cool.
not so perks?
Very cool. I can remember from the time that I was a real little girl, we would go to the Austin Opera House and listen to him play. And number one, I knew I didn't have school the next day. And I was just tall enough to barely see his feet from the bottom of the stage. And he would always throw a bandana like he does to all of his fans and
Right.
blow a kiss or something. But those are good memories. And it's just always been a pleasure being raised out here, being able to utilize our golf course, and just having family close by is very important.
And what would you say would be a drawback of being related to somebody so famous? Would you think that there's any kind of a drawback?
I don't really think there is one, honestly.
Well, even if there was one, you could just smoke it away. You know what I'm talking about? Let me ask you another question. Tell us, something about Willie that most people, the fans wouldn't normally ever know. What could you tell us about him that nobody knows?
I'm just trying to think.
Like, is there anything that he
I
does?
think he's pretty laid back enough to like most everything.
Yeah.
So, he's just comfort zone, out of his element. He prefers to stay on the bus versus, at home more than likely. You can find him even at a hotel, staying on the bus, just enjoying that comfort of his lifestyle.
Right. And let's say, what is his favorite meal?
Oh, for sure, it's bacon, eggs, biscuits, and gravy. Yeah, and oatmeal. Those are about the 2 things that he most likely, will eat at any time of the day.
And there you have it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, somebody said this to me earlier, and it made a lot of sense, that a lot of Willie's friends that were also famous and are still famous, but they've passed on, a lot of them have passed on and Willie hasn't, because Willie gave up the bad things that he was doing and then took up smoking cannabis. and he is the supporter, you know, one of the main supporters. He's letting them do this, you know. So from what I understand, back in 1973, he helped the organization by opening up an office, and they only thought it was going to take 2 or 3 years to get cannabis legal. And here we are, 2018, and it's still not legal. But the cool thing is that if they make it legal for vets, then the civilians will follow. So keep up the fight. Don't give up. Keep up the fight. And thank you so much for coming and talking to us. And we're going to let you go get something to eat now.
There
We're
you
in
go.
the chuck wagon.
Yes, we are.
Thank you, Rebecca
yes, thank
Thomas.
You. Nice to meet you.
All right, kids, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
She's got green eyes, and she wishes they were blue. She never smiles, and she'll get right down soon. Girl, I love you all the time. Girl, you hurt me every time, but I come back to you. Girl, I give you all my time. Girl, you hurt me every night. Don't you want me to?
Oh, what a wonderful
Useless information. And number one, when a Hawaiian woman, when she wears a flower over her left ear, it means that she is not available, baby. So if she got a flower on her left ear, don't go near that woman because her husband will kill you. They will, they're mean. They can really kill you. So if you see a woman with a flower in her left ear, cut it out. Go the other way. Just as information, number two, the save icon on Microsoft Word shows a floppy disk with a shutter on backwards. You didn't know that. You know you didn't know that. What? Well, maybe you knew it. Just as information, number three, the only nation whose name begins with the letter A but doesn't end with the A is Afghanistan. Did you know that? The only nation whose name begins with the letter A but doesn't end with an A is Afghanistan. So now you know, because you need to know that. Yes, you do. Shut up. You need to know it. If you don't know it, who's going to know it? Shut up. Just as information, number four. The following sentence, a rough-coated, dough-faced, thoughtful plowman strode through the streets of Scarborough. After falling into a slough, he coughed and hiccuped. It contains the 9 different pronunciations of in the English language. Do you want me to repeat it? Okay, I'm going to repeat it because you think I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. Here you go. A rough-coated, dough-faced, thoughtful plowman strode through the streets of Scarborough. After falling into a slough, he coughed and hiccuped. Contains the 9 different pronunciations of in the English language. You didn't know it. Tell me, did you know it? No, you didn't. Shut up. Just as information, number 5. The verb cleave is the only English word with two synonyms, which are antonyms of each other, adhere and separate. You want me to tell it again? I'll tell it again. But first, let me show you my belt, because I know that makes you happy. It makes you happy to see my belt. It makes me happy to see my belt, because it's hard. It's hard, and it's soft too, baby. Here's some softness, but it's rock hard too. I'll say it one more time. The verb cleave is the only English word with two synonyms, which are antonyms of each other, adhere and separate. That's it. That's all I got for you today. So shut up. Sit back, relax, take a sip, do something. But you gotta do something. Maybe go for a walk or something. Get up. There's a whole world out there that you're not seeing. You're staying inside all the time. Get out. Take a walk. You got a dog? Take her for a walk. You got a cat? Take it for a walk. You got a wife? Take her for a walk. You got a husband? Take him for a walk. Get out of the house and do something. You're not doing nothing. Oh yeah. ¡Viva México!
Clip at the end that I want to show you guys. We have a clip at the end of the show that I want you guys to see, so please pay attention. Thank you so much, Steve, for coming and joining us. A Marijuana Man. You can Google it, look it up. What's your website real quick?
AMarijuanaman.com.
I thought it might be a good idea.
Tyrone, go to that clip. You ever wonder where you live in the universe? I'm about to show you. Enjoy.
I thought it might be a good idea, just after Saturn, to have them take one last glance homeward. From Saturn, the Earth would appear too small for Voyager to make out any detail. Our planet would be just a point of light, a lonely pixel. From this distant vantage point, the Earth might not seem of any particular interest. But for us, it's different. Consider again that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on the mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe, are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known.
Woo-hoo. All right, kids, I am out of martini. Somebody please. Anyway, that was Earth from 4 billion miles away. The Voyager took that picture from 4 billion miles away. Now the Voyager took off to another galaxy, but that was us, dude. That was us. So that was us from 4 billion miles away, and planets and stars all over the place. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought you might enjoy it. Once again, Steve Kravetz, A Marijuana Man. It's a dealer's diary, and it's great reading. So who knows, we might start a book club here, the Big Daddy G Book Club. So stay tuned for next week. We're going to have something really good for you next week also. So Steve, give us your website one more time.
AMarijuanaman.com.
AMarijuanaman.com, and you can get these shirts,
Yes.
not the Hawaiian shirt, these shirts and the book, and if you want him to, he'll sign it. Bye.
Hi-ho, what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show, the Big Daddy G Show, the Big Daddy G Show. Hi-ho, what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show, the Big Daddy G Show, the Big Daddy G Show. Hi-ho, what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show, the Big Daddy G Show, the Big Daddy G Show.
Here's your daddy.